We should be good. Hopefully we get sound pretty good. I think we do have sound now. Again, still 4-0 in favor of Brandon Ferguson. Butters looks to turn Ferguson. Ferguson comes inside the leg. .32 seconds left. Ferguson comes over the head, has Butters in trouble. Butters to his back. Ferguson looks to finish it off with a half. And that's the fall. Again, I appreciate the text in from Scott Bosworth letting me know that the sound is back on and we're working fine. So thank you, Boz, for getting back to me. The next match, as Brandon Ferguson wins by fall to put Port Allegany up 6-0, we have a forfeit coming to Jackson Young. That'll make the score 12-0 for Port Allegany. The next match will be Zach Hungaville and Logan Rakoven. Both men now report. And Logan Rakoven, I do apologize because I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing his last name. We'll go against Zach Hungaville. We're all set. Port Allegany up 12-0 in a team score. Hungaville with a front headlock, looks to turn a corner with a head in the hole. Has a cradle locked up, now goes to a half. Two for Hungaville. Waiting on his back points. Official only gives 2 back points. 4-0 favor of Hungaville. Team score 12-0. Hungaville now with a bar and a tight waist onto the right side. Looks to turn Rakoven. Rakoven bellies down, 36 seconds left. Hungaville now with a big step over the head is getting back points with the arm bar. 22 seconds left. Referee Sam Kaiser starts his count again. He's holding 2 back points. 6-0 in favor of Hungaville. Hungaville with a tilt. Gets 2 more points. And that's the end of the first period, with Zach Hungaville leading 8-0. Again, for the viewers viewing in, the team score is in the top left-hand corner of the screen. The match score is at the bottom. Hungaville out with 1, makes it 9-0 in favor of the Port Allegany Gator. Hungaville looking to set up a dump, drives through, gets 2 plus more back points. Now he is ahead 11-0. He gets 2 or 3 back points. Official says 3, making it 14-0. Hungerville looking to get a tilt and get a tech fall. A tech fall in wrestling is if you win by 15 or more points. That is also 5 team points. Hungerville now has Reckvin over on his back. Releases the hold, wins by a tech fall 17-0. Running the score to 17-0 in favor of Port Allegany. Sawyer Smith will receive a forfeit at 155. That will run the score to 23-0. Now we have Gavin Moses from Port Allegany going against Elizabeth Myers from Brockway. Moses and Myers. This bout is at 170 pounds. Moses reaches for a single. Spins around, goes behind, picks up 2 points. Now has a crossface cradle locked up, does Moses. Moses puts Myers on her back. Moses with the cradle. Releases it, picks up 3 more back points, making a score 5-0 in favor of Gavin Moses. Moses again with a crossface cradle, looking to run it again. Moses has the cradle locked up. Now releases it. Moses again with this time with a far side cradle. Brings Myers back. Excuse me. Moses has a bottom mat knee on the side. Readjusting the grip. Moses picks up 3 more back points, running the score up to 8-0. Sorry, 8-0. 12 seconds left in the period. And that's the end of the first period. Choice goes to Myers. Myers will defer. Moses chooses down. Moses up to his feet, returned to the mat by Myers. Myers has Moses on his back, no back points. Myers now has both working on a cross body ride, getting a little high. Moses needs to come out the back door. He's coming out the back door. And he has 2 for reversal, making the score 10-0 in favor of Gavin Moses. Moses now with a half. Moses now turns Myers with the half, readjust, getting more back points, and there's a fall for Gavin Moses, making the team score Port Allegany 29, Brockway nothing. Now wrestling is Maddox Decker from Brockway. He will take on Cason Stake from Port Allegany. Maddox with a head snap. Maddox now with a snap down. Back to the center. Decker, snap down, go behind, picks up 2 for Brockway. 2-0 in favor of Maddox Decker. Decker now has a wrist and a bar, turns, stake to his back, 35 seconds left. Decker gets 2 back points, making a score 4-0. Allows stake to escape, 4-1, then a takedown, 6-1. Decker with a tilt, getting back points. Has a little hazard or a finger tilt. That's the end of the first period. And Decker picks up 3 more back points, making a score 9-1 in favor of Brockway's Maddox Decker. Stake chooses down. Decker with an arm bar in the fall, making the score Port Allegany 29, Brockway 6. At heavyweight, Jacob Seamster will receive a forfeit, making a score 35-6. At 80 pounds for Port Allegany, I'm getting ahead of myself, but at 80 pounds, Holden Nance will receive a forfeit, making a score 41-6. And at 87 pounds, Brennan Philhart will receive a forfeit to make it 47-6. At 94 pounds, Colin Ferguson for Port Allegany will receive a forfeit. That'll make it 53-6. At 101, Maddox Dickerson of Port Allegany will receive a forfeit to make it 56-9. And at 108, Cameron Larkin will receive a forfeit to make the score 65-6. Which will bring us to 115 pounds, where the match between Ian Fitzsimmons and Skylar Moses will take place. At 115, Brockway sends out Skylar Mosier. Port Allegany counters with Ian Fitzsimmons. Both men in the center. Fitzsimmons in on a low single. Mosier counters with a crotch lock. They go out of bounds with 1:08 left, both men neutral. Fitzsimmons with a one-on-one. Mosier rolls the wrist out. Mosier with a feint step, goes in for a single. Fitzsimmons counters with a sprawl. Pressure in the head now, Fitzsimmons. Both men back to neutral, both up. Ten seconds left in the first period. Fitzsimmons with a low single, countered by Mosier. End of the first period, it's scoreless. Choice will go to Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons chooses down. Mosier covers. Mosier called for a caution. Head was past the imaginary line. Like a parallel line, your head has to be in the middle of the bag. He also had his foot on the other side of that parallel line. Now they start. Fitzsimmons does a short sit, looks for a Peterson. Mosier counters. Fitzsimmons has a Peterson locked up. Lets go of it, comes back in and gets a reversal for it. Fitzsimmons up 2-0 with 1:11 left. Fitzsimmons now has a leg in. Mosier stands up. Mosier working on the grip. They go out of bounds. Mosier will go back down, trailing 2-0. We have a referee's time. Now they're set. Mosier looks to stand. Fitzsimmons with a tight waist. Claw ride. Mosier now up to his feet. Fitzsimmons working the hands. Mosier working the hands. Fitzsimmons is hit for stalling. They go out of bounds. Mosier still down. Fitzsimmons on top again. Fitzsimmons got hit for stalling, for not returning the bottom wrestler back to the mat quite fast enough. Mosier comes up, stands again. This time Fitzsimmons steps over, breaks him down. Mosier has a wrist and a tight waist. Fitzsimmons. Mosier back to his feet. Fitzsimmons lets him out, making the score 2-1. As both men are on their feet here at the end of the second period. We'll be joined by a guest announcer as Marvin Morris, who I've been on the wrestling mat with, refereeing and everything together with him. Marvin, glad to have you here.
Thanks, Sean. Nice to be here.
And also, before I forget, I'd like to wish you, I believe, a happy 47th birthday tomorrow, Marvin. Right, 47?
That is correct.
See, I had you pegged at 48, but your fiance informed me you were only 47.
Yeah.
So
that's nice of her.
Yeah. Thanks for having you up, Marvin. Again, now Mosier on this all the way up. Fitzsimmons returns him. Mosier working the hands, gets one. Makes the score 2-2 with 1:12 left. One minute left. Fitzsimmons in on a single leg, drives through, gets two, goes up 4-2. Has a leg split, needs to move up. Mosier back to his feet, works on the grip. Fitzsimmons brings him back in. Mosier again working the grip. They go out of bounds. 36 seconds left. Mosier is down 4-2. Fitzsimmons allows Mosier to escape, making a score 4-3. Both men on their feet. Fitzsimmons has already been warned for stalling. In on a low single, Fitzsimmons looks to trip it. He's got it treetop now, bringing it back in. 17 seconds left. Mosier doing a good job staying upright. Fitzsimmons needs to elevate the leg. Tries again to step through. 7 seconds left. Fitzsimmons hanging onto the leg. That will do it. Ian Fitzsimmons with a 3-2 victory, or 4-3 victory, to make the score 68-6 in favor of Port Allegany team score wise. No, they have it tied up. Oh, it's tied 4-4. I must have missed an escape when I was wishing you happy birthday, Marvin. I do apologize. Overtime is a 1 minute on their feet, and then they go to a
2 30-second rideouts.
2 30-second rideouts.
So you have sudden death for another 30 seconds.
And that is,
first point scored.
Again, thank you for jumping in, Marvin. "15 seconds left. The referee calls a stalemate. Fitzsimmons in on a single. Looks to turn the corner. Needs to return him to the mat with a headlock. Is Mosier. Nothing given. We will go to the 30-second rideout. This is a coin flip. Usually when I was coaching, I would defer to the second rideout, but it varies on how you feel. If you can score early or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. Depends on how tired your wrestler is, too. If he only needs to get the first 30 seconds to get out of it faster.
So Mosier wins it and chooses down. Now, if you score in this period, and we'll explain it to the fans as they're watching, the match doesn't stop once you escape or reverse your opponent. The 30-second periods keep going on. Tight waist. Far arm by Fitzsimmons. Mosier up, taken out of bounds.
Excellent for sure.
Again, Fitzsimmons has been hit for stalling. And that's crucial, too, in a match like this, too. 13 seconds left. Mosier working on the hands as he stands. Mosier looking to turn in. Fitzsimmons staying behind. Mosier does get one to put Mosier up 5-4. And that's the end of the first rideout period, which fifth period. So now they go to the sixth period.
Actually, it's the seventh period.
Fitzsimmons chooses down.
You're right. Fifth period.
Fitzsimmons needs to escape to tie the score.
Now, if Mosier holds him down, the match is over 5-4.
Right. Mosier will win. Fitzsimmons again looks for the Peterson. Mosier stuffing ahead, looking for a cradle. Mosier has the cradle locked up. Again, if I'm in a cradle position, I'm going to stay there. You can't get hit for stalling in a. But he lets go of the cradle. Fitzsimmons has a Peterson. Fitzsimmons has two for reversal. Now looking to add back points. Fitzsimmons with a Peterson with about 10 seconds left wins the match 6-5. And that is 3 more team points for Port Allegany. That was a really entertaining match, Marvin.
Yeah, I got here halfway through it, and it was very good.
Now our next match is between Isaac Postawait and Colin Weir. Did I pronounce that name right, Marvin? Weir?
Yeah.
I'll let Marvin take the play-by-play on this one. I'll just hang back. All right, I'll do what Marvin says. Again, Marv, thanks for joining us. Weir with a super duck into a single, countered by Postawait. Postawait tries to go with a headlock roll through. Something that we always called a gator roll, but I know it's got other names. But Postawait with the head control. Postawait still with the front headlock. 50 seconds left. Postawait trying to go ahead in the hole. Stalemate is called. They're both men on their feet with 43 seconds left in the first period. This match takes place at 122 pounds. Postawait, an 8th grader. Postawait in on a double, then switches to a single. Whizzer placed in by Weir has Postawait stretched out, working on the head. Now he tries to hook up his own cradle with a head and a side cradle. Stalemate called again. 18 seconds left. This is the last match of the evening. Postawait in with a double. Weir counters. Postawait drives through, ends up getting 2 points. Isaac Postawait of Port Allegany up 2-0. Time runs out. I didn't know if you could see it on the side, but we had some fans from Brockway that were taping kind of bumped the side of the scorer's table and knocked the whole side right down. She's looking over there embarrassed.
Whoops.
Hey, it falls apart all the time.
Yeah, you can barely bump that thing, it falls apart.
Yeah, that is true. Postawait breaks down Weir. Again, thank you all for joining us. So far, we have 34 current viewers and 61 people have came in to watch tonight's match. That's pretty good for a wrestling match.
Yep.
And again, we are glad you joined us on our PA SD1 stream. Postawait with a bar in her wrist, has the fall, and that will end it, with the final score being Port Allegany 74, Brockway 6. Marvin and I will both be back in about 15 minutes to go over strategies for tonight's match, as we have an exhibition here. I don't know who these wrestlers are. I asked coaches if I had any exhibition. They told me no, so we'll give it our best shot here. Port Allegany looking to go behind. He does spin through and get 2. So it's 2-0 in favor of the Port Allegany wrestler. And again, I apologize for not having the names of the wrestlers. But Marvin's working on it, trying to figure out who it is. Port Allegany now getting back points. Has both legs in with a power half. Referee already holding 3. Again, still the same move, so you can't keep getting back points for people that are tuning in. But usually people tune into a wrestling match pretty much know all the terminology and stuff. Wrestlers ruled out. $5-0 lead for the wrestler from Port Allegany. That's the end of the first period. Port Allegany defers to Brockway. Brockway chooses down. Brockway wrestler with his stand, working on the hand control. Looks to peel the hands, turn in, return to the mat. Full Nelson called against a Port Allegany wrestler.
Port Allegany wrestler is also warned for stalling also.
So score 5-1. Port Allegany wrestler been hit for stalling. Brockway wrestler to his feet, walks into a cradle, now on his back. Again, another cradle. Okay, we do have the wrestler from Brockway. It is Cash Butters. Again, I apologize. I do not have the wrestler from Port Allegany. Another cradle locked up as he looks to turn Butters with 13 seconds left. That's the end of the second period. A wrestler from Port Allegany will have choice. He chooses down. Granby roll by the wrestler from Port Allegany. He gets 2, making a score 10-1. Now has a leg in, looking to throw a half to get back points. Readjust, comes out of the legs. Butters attempts to roll through. 58 seconds left. Fall for the Port Allegany wrestler. Again, I do apologize for not knowing who the wrestler was from Port Allegany, but victorious with a fall. We have 2 more exhibition matches ready for you. Coming out here, I believe, is Madden Nelson, and he is wrestling Logan Rakovin. Both men in a head tie. Raffin in on a single. Nelson sprawls. They're out of bounds. 1:15 left. Single leg attempted by Rackvin. Nelson sprawl works on the head, gets around and gets two. Madden Nelson with a takedown with 49 seconds left. Rackvin looks to stand. Nelson returns him to the mat. Nelson now with the cross wrist. Looks to run across face cradle. Needs to get that tucked up above the elbow. Now comes back the other side with a half. Nelson has Rackvin on his back. And Nelson gets the fall. I just got surprised by my granddaughter. She come up. So, now this match should be Sawyer Smith, and he will go against Elizabeth Myers. Okay, I am a little biased, but I'm not a fan of this group, but here you go. Oh, she wanted to say go Chiefs because her whole family's a Chiefs fan, Marvin, so I apologize for that. Smith with a front headlock. Smith looks to go behind and get his two. He does. 2-0. Sawyer Smith.
I see you're going to be a grandfather again?
Yes, we are going to be a grandfather again.
I heard you broke the curse.
Yes, it is true. Well, Nate did. Nate and Becca did. I had nothing to do with it.
Right, that's good.
Yes, they're due to have a little boy in June.
Maybe the curse is broken now for the rest of you.
Maybe. But by then, I'll be too old to even get back into the sport of wrestling when that little one's done. So I'll be one of those grandparents sitting in the stands. Again, Smith with a tight waist. They go out of bounds. Again, a decent looking crowd here today.
Parking lot's full, I know that.
After this match, I believe there is no more exhibitions. We will be taking about a 15-minute break for both teams to warm up. And if Marvin's willing to join me for the varsity match, it'd be greatly appreciated. If not, I totally understand. I mean,
we can join you, see what happens.
All right, that would be awesome. Choice to Brockway. Elizabeth Myers chooses down. Tight waist arm chop by Smith. Smith now with a power half. .50 seconds left in the second period. Myers clears the hands, looks to stand. Smith back to a tight waist and an arm. Chops the arm in. 30 seconds left. Smith now has a bar and an underhook. Needs to get to the side and run it. Smith digging a bar in deep. Now has Myers. Rolls through. Six seconds left. It'll be Smith's choice for the third period. Smith will choose down. Myers with a crossface, looking to run a cradle. Smith stands. Myers returns Smith to the mat. Myers tries to run the cradle again, crossface cradle. Looks to bring the head to the knee. Smith sprawls out. Now Myers goes into bundles. Has Smith broken flat down again. 50 seconds left. As long as we're here, and we do see more and more girls wrestling in the sport. What do you think about the PIAA? Are they going to get enough teams to sanction girls wrestling? I know that the magic number was 100, and the last I knew they were at about 97 with petitions and stuff. How would that affect other matches?
Well, I think it'd be a good thing to see the girls get teams and get their own individual states and stuff like that. Be nice for these boys too, not to have to wrestle girls too. So
yeah, I mean,
you know as well as I do, it's hard for boys to wrestle, or even young men to wrestle young women.
It's nothing against girls wrestling. It's just that, I think the girls wrestling will succeed, and that's the end of the match with Smith with a fall. And Marvin, you said you'd join me back up here in about 15 minutes?
Yep.
That would be great to see you then. And again, thank you all for joining, and we'll be back in 15 minutes.
That's my first time on the radio, just so you know that.
Oh, this is our live stream. You can go home and watch it on YouTube. Oh, it's awesome, dude. I have a blast. I did all the football.
I see young Tigers back.
There's a couple I just looked at. I didn't tell. Who took over for Greco?
Troy Braddock.
Okay.
Troy Braddock will put top on.
There's a thumbs up for you, Mark. Brad Greenman. The restroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight down the hallway. About maybe 50 yards. You're actually probably better off going downstairs.
as what?
Who do you got for an early favorite?
We're muted, don't worry about it.
I'm liking Brockway and Port Allegany again.
I'm thinking that too.
Brockway they lost some, but they didn't lose a whole lot. But what they did lose, they're regaining some of that back up in the junior high level.
Okay. Port Allegany lost their whole backfield, but their whole line's back, which is something you really don't ever hear of.
Right.
So that should be a interesting thing. I can't believe Red Bank still has their coach.
Yeah. Should be a couple decent matches tonight.
Yeah. I hope they bump Park up.
They'll bump him. They'll bump him. You're not going to drive an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, not to wrestle. They bump him against Clarion. I know more about wrestling than he does. He wanted me up here to help him out.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for tonight's match. There'll be some real good matches, possibly. Uh, Brockway may bump up Gage Park from 107 to 114 to wrestle Ian O'Shea, which would be a good match.
Yeah.
And Marv was also talking about the heavyweight matchup between Gavin Thompson and Carson Neely. That could be a semifinals match at districts. So we'll take a timeout for the national anthem. So for tonight's starting lineups, the weight class we're going to start at will be 114, where Ian O'Shea is unopposed. Possibly Gage Park from Brockway will bump up from 107 to wrestle O'Shea. At 121, Port Allegany's Nicholas Wilfong receives a forfeit. At 127, Port Allegany will receive a forfeit. That will either be Clayton Kaiser or Christian Rothamel. At 133, Port Allegany's Colton Ferguson will take on Parker Pisarchik. At 139, James Nichols from Port Allegany will receive a forfeit. At 145, Aiden Ferguson will receive a forfeit. At 152, Rylan Arnold of Port Allegany will receive a forfeit. At 160, either Mason Gordon or Jacob Renner from Port Allegany will receive a forfeit. At 172, Aiden Bliss will receive a forfeit. At 189, either Yuso Young or Ethan Tarbox of Port Allegany will face Seth Stewart. Again, that's a possible good semi-district matchup. At 215, Miska Young or Caden Flagg will take on Jonathan Winnings. And at 285, Carson Neely will take on Brockway's Gavin Thompson. Marv, real quick, as long as we have the time here.
You have a mistake there too, Sean. 139 for Brockway is Colton Ross.
Colton Ross?
Yes.
I missed him. Sorry, I do apologize. Just kind of feel like I'm standing up here with my wife. She always points out my mistakes, but thank you very much, Marvin. Again, Marvin, real quick, your opinion on Clearfield and St. Mary's coming down to Double-A. That not only strengthens, in my opinion, District 9 Double-A, but strengthens the Northwest region. Do you agree?
Well, absolutely. You have two solid teams there with St. Mary's and Clearfield both. Both teams are very well loaded. They have good wrestlers, good competition there.
So that should help out also. Another thing too that we have that has always been discussed is District 9. Usually gets 4. District 10 gets 6. But then when they go to states, they get 3 or 4 out. Have they changed it to 4 yet?
I'm not sure if they've changed it yet or not.
And I mean, the Whipule is very tough.
Yes.
But they get what, 6 out, and the Southwest gets 6 too, and the North only gets 8. So maybe there's something they could do there. So okay, we're ready for a match at
Looks like they're not going to bump up.
114.
Ian O'Shea, he got his forfeit, run 21 now.
Okay. So O'Shea gets a forfeit. So Port Allegany's up 6-0. Then Nicholas Wolfong receives a forfeit. This is Christian Rothamel. He receives a forfeit. So it's 18-0, and now we have Parker Pisarcik will take on Port Allegany's Colton Ferguson.
Brockway struggling like most teams with injuries and eligibilities right now.
Yeah, and that's something that really hurts towards the end of the year when this happens. Pisarcik quickly in on a single, goes to a double, clears the legs, has two. Pisarcik cuts. Ferguson loose, takes him back down. Now looks to run a half. Pisarcik up 4-0. Pisarcik now with a bar and a wrist. Looking to do a tilt. Pisarcik needs to elevate the bottom leg, which he has now. Pisarcik with a 4 count only gets 2. Pisarcik still stayed in contact, so he's still in control, so Ferguson will be down. With the score 6-0, or 6-1 in favor of Parker Pisarcik. Pisarcik with a tight waist, head lever, right into a bar, has the cross wrist, looks to run it, now throws a half on the other side, has Ferguson stacked up, settling in, looks to sit out with double arm bars now. Minute left. Pisarcik with the fall at 1:03 of the first period to make the score. Port Allegany 18, Brockway 6. Now we have Colton Ross of Brockway. He will take on James Nichols at the 139-pound class. Nichols will have choice. Ross in on a low single, gets 2. Ross has a cross wrist, looks for a tilt. Ross has a 2 count already, so he has 2 back points guaranteed. Ross allows Nichols to escape, then takes him right back down, makes the score 6-1 in favor of Colton Ross. Now cuts him again, 6-2.
Clock's still running. It was. We're good now.
Ross has a front headlock, looks to go head in the hole. Both men up. Ross in on a low single, gets 2. 8-1 or 8-2 in favor of Colton Ross. 45 seconds left. Ross throws in the legs, reaching for cross body. Nichols hips down to counter. Ross crumbs across the face, getting back points, but no, only a 1 count. Ross again cuts Nichols, making the score 8-3. Ross in on a single, now switches to a double, looks to bring Nichols in, steps out of bounds with 7 seconds left. Colton Ross with an 8-3 lead with 7 seconds left. Ross with a low double. Gets 2 right at the buzzer. Ross now with a 10-3 lead. Nichols deferred. Ross chooses down. Ross into a tripod stand, turns in, faces Nichols. Nichols into a double. Ross separates, now has a point, 11-3. Ross already with a major decision. Nichols looks to go behind. Ross back in on a double. Ross looked to turn him and keeps his feet in. Ross does. He gets 2, 13-3. Favor of Brockway's Colton Ross, and they go out of bounds with 1:22 left. Nichols now in the down position. Ross told to cover. Ross now has an arm bar in a wrist. Comes back around. Ross drives forward, 57 seconds left. Nichols stands. Ross down on a leg. Could become potentially dangerous with a knee bend. Ross switches to a double. Looks to step through. Still has control. Ross now into the cross-body ride. Ross with a crossface, looks to run the cradle. Ross has a cradle locked up. Push Nichols to his back. There's a fall. At 1:42 of the second period, 3:42 total for Colton Ross of Brockway, making the score 18-12 in favor of Port Allegany.
Here comes all your forfeits there, Sean.
Yes, 145, Aiden Ferguson will receive a forfeit. At 152, Rylan Arnold will receive a forfeit. At 160, we don't know who Port Allegany is going to send out. And it is Mason Gordon at 160 to receive a forfeit. And at 172, I believe it will be Aiden Bliss to receive a forfeit. And that will run the team score up to 42-12 in favor of Port Allegany. And our next match will be at 189, where Brockway will send out Seth Stewart, and he will face Yuso Young. I believe these two definitely met each other on the football field.
Well, I guarantee you that.
And it should be a good match as both wrestlers in the middle set to take place. Referee Sam Kaiser blows the whistle. Both men now head to head. Stewart comes into a collar tie. Both men still head to head with 1:27 left. Stewart in on a throw by into a single, but both men out of bounds. Back to the middle they go. 1:26 left in the first period. Both men again head to head. Stewart with a collar tie. Now both men in a collar tie. Stewart with a snap down. Young trying to do a butt drag, but both men back out. Stewart in on a single leg. They go out of bounds with 54 seconds left. Pretty much a feeling out period here in the first period. Would you agree, Marvin?
Yeah.
No.
I would think Seth's doing a little more shooting than Young is, but still filling each other out really well.
Maybe trying to set something up for the third period. Who knows?
Maybe. Seth Stewar's a senior for Brockway. He's had an up and down season. He's won some matches he should have won, and he's lost some matches he should have won. So he's wrestling well for a senior. His last year, he placed I think 7th last year in the state.
I do believe that is correct. And Yuso Young is a sophomore. Kind of had a decent breakout season as a freshman last year. I believe he didn't qualify for regionals, but got beat in the blood round to get to regionals. Okay, score's still tied 0-0. Stewart's choice. He chooses down. Stewart attempts to stand. He's up. Young with the ankle. Both men go out of bounds. 4 seconds that took. Stewart back to the middle to go down. Stewart stands, works on the hand control. Cut loose by Young. Young wasn't going to be able to hold him, so just give him the point. Go back on your feet. Again, both men in a collar tie. Elbow lead attempted by Young, countered by Stewart. Minute and 20 left in the second period. Seth Stewart of Brockway with a 1-0 lead.
Still a lot of dancing around in the middle of the mat there, Sean.
Yeah, they're really not putting each other in a bad situation, you know, and that could also hurt you in a way because you're not being aggressive, you know what I mean? Always on the attack, always on the attack. Leads to something. So I think they're both afraid to give up a counter move.
Yeah.
So again, 54 seconds left. Both men back to the middle on their feet. Again, both men with a collar tie, head to head. 30 seconds left.
Neither guy really attacking.
Again, there they are. Yuso with a attempt at a single leg. 12 seconds left. Now 10. Stewart in on a single leg. Young battles it off. 5 seconds left. Both men on their feet. Here's definitely when a close match, I guess, you do not want to give up points, either one of the guys.
Yeah. I think under 15, 20 seconds is like a cardinal sin to give up those points.
And that's what a lot of coaches talking about, scoring points at the end of periods or giving up points at the end of periods. So, with that, Young's choice, he chooses neutral instead of going down. Stewart pretty tough on the top position.
He is. He's solid on top.
So not a bad decision by Yuso Young. So they both head to head.
Now he has to push himself to get that 2-point takedown.
Maybe they were setting something up, you know, and somebody saw something in the match so far, and he seems to be attacking the left side of Stewart. You know, which is different because if you're a right-handed wrestler, most of the time you attack to the right side. It seems like Young is attacking the left side.
Yeah, maybe Seth's Left side's a little weaker than the right side. Coaches might have seen that on film somewhere.
Okay, we got 1:20 left. 1-0 Seth Stewart in the lead for Brockway. Both wrestlers are capable of big-time throws. But just content to stay at neutral position, head-to-head. 56 seconds left. Again, Young looking to attack the left side with a throw by or Prescott. Stewart in on a single leg. Young sprawls, counters it. Both men back to their feet. 35 seconds left. Young in on a shot attempt on the left side. Both men head to head. 30 seconds left. This is where, if you're Yuso Young, you have to get busy. If you're Stewart, you're up 1-0. You know, unless something's there that's really special, take it.
You're content where you're at right now, being up 1-0 with 15 seconds left to go.
Okay, they're out. 11 seconds left. Young needs a takedown. Stewart needs to battle, stays head to head like he is. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. And that will be the end of the match with Brockway. Seth Stewart coming away with a 1-0 victory over Port Allegany's Yuso Young. Again, a decent match, mostly spent on their feet.
Yeah, not a whole lot of action there, but a little pushing and shoving.
I mean, and if you're a referee in that match, you really can't do much different than,
No.
you know, that there was nothing that they were doing that, you know.
Could have been both for stalling, trying to get some action moving, but it's fine the way it went too.
Now we go to 2:15, where Miska Young is taking on Jonathan Winnings. Miska has 2. Yes, Miska and Yuso are brothers. Both played football. So on the Port Allegany wrestling team, you have 3/5 of the offensive line. And believe it or not, the other 2 play basketball.
Huh. You'd think they'd be more of a wrestler, pushing and shoving around like that.
Well,
Winnings is a freshman, I believe.
so Young allows Winnings to come up. 2-1 in favor of Miska Young. Young in on a blast double, drives through, splits the legs, looks to come up with a half. 4-1 in favor of Miska Young. Miska Young now with a gable bar or an inside bar. Has Winnings turned. 1:05 seconds left. Plenty of time for Young to settle in. Winnings comes back off his back. Now the score 7-1 in favor of Miska Young. Young again right back to that. Now this time takes the bar, steps across, chins it back. 45 seconds left. Young gets 3, making the score 10-1. 35 seconds left. Young throws in a half. Settles in. Winnings 30 seconds left. And that's the fall for Port Allegany's Miska Young.
This next match could be like the last match, the 189-pound match. A lot of pushing and shoving.
But I think this one could be very exciting, Marvin.
It has a potential. They both, like you said, would rather throw you than know you.
Yeah. I do know some accolades for Carson Neely. He did win the Ultimate Warrior tournament in West Branch last weekend.
I believe Thompson finished 3rd in that tournament. Got upset in the quarterfinals, where he would have met Neely in the semifinals, but got upset in the quarters.
Okay, Neely with a throw by. Thompson, a good job covering up. No takedown, 1:44 left.
A lot of action for these big boys in 15 seconds.
Yeah, and they're not even winded. I mean, we are older, but we might be winded if we went at it like that for 15 seconds.
I would have to believe you right there, Sean.
Thompson looks to run a Russian. Neely with head position, pushes off the head. Now Thompson comes with an underhook. Neely pummeling in. Neely looks to come to both underhooks. Neely looks to drag. Both men in an arm drag situation.
Yeah.
Now they back out. 55 seconds left.
This could be another district semifinal or final match in a couple weeks here.
It definitely could be. Thompson pummels inside. Neely pummels back. Neely not much of a one to tie. He a lot of times he attacks low singles and stuff like that. It's very similar to his uncle, who I had coached Brian Neal. You may remember refereeing Brian.
Yep.
A headlock attempt by Thompson. Both men are out.
Thompson's the opposite. He loves to tie up and try and throw from there.
16 seconds left. Looks like we're going to have a scoreless first period. Very similar to what we had at 189.
A little more action packed in this first period, though.
Choice is to Thompson. Thompson chooses down. What grade is Thompson in?
Thompson's a senior this year.
Thompson's a senior. I believe Neely is a sophomore also. Neely chops the arm forward, looks to break Thompson down, has Thompson broken down, Thompson back up. Neely gets to the other side.
Thompson was a regional qualifier last year and lost in the blood round to go to states last year.
Again, and like we had said, the addition to St. Mary's and Clearfield is only going to make District 9 better, but also the Northwest region.
Yes.
Okay, Neely has Thompson broken flat down, tries to run the inside gable bar. Minute 18 left. Neely will have choice in the third period. Tight waist. Roll attempted by Thompson. Thompson into a funk, something you usually don't see at heavyweights. Neely is in fine position there. Neither men panicking here, which for a heavyweight match is pretty impressive. You know, nobody panicked. They just stayed there, rolled it out. 47 seconds left. Thompson will return to the down position as he adjusts his knee brace. Neely again with a thigh pry. Arm bump. Thompson sits into it. Neely to a single leg. Returns Thompson to the mat. Neely looks to trip. He has Thompson on the edge. 23 seconds left. Both men out of bounds. Neely still on top. Thompson again. Two nice attempts to escape and get out. Neely, great counters. I mean, it's not very seldom that you say a heavyweight match is kind of exciting, but this kind of is.
Yeah. Best match of the night so far.
And there's nothing against the heavyweights. Trust me, you know, I've coached some very good heavyweights, but, you know, there was action, but then there was dull moments, and this right here has been a complete, total match. Again, Thompson looks to turn in. 6 seconds left. Neely into a single leg. 3 seconds left. Time runs out. No escape.
Good hold. I believe that was a good hold down the referee.
So we go to the third period. Neely chooses down. Score tied 0-0. I mean, for a 0-0 match, it is pretty action-packed. Thompson covers on the right side. Neely looks to stand. Neely tripods up. Thompson with a cant and a half, trying to bring Neely back down. Neely is up. Thompson around the waist. Thompson needs to return him. Attempts a lift. Does return Neely to the mat. A minute 37. Neely with hand control, possibly a roll. Thompson covers the hips. 1:28 left. Wrestlers ruled out of bounds. .124 left. Neely again goes to the down position. Neely with a tripod stand again. Thompson with the claw and a thigh pry. Neely again attempts to come up. Neely comes up, works on the hands. Neely has one. 1:11 left. Neely up by the score 1-0.
Neither guy hit for stalling, so that's not really taking any effect right now.
But both men staying in the center of the mat. You know, they're not playing the edge game.
Nope.
They're both in the center, hand fighting. Neely is keeping distance. Both men now head-to-head, 30 seconds left. Thompson looks for the Russian, now has double overhooks, looking to throw Neely. Neely slips out. Again, good job by Carson Neely, pummeling in. 16 seconds left. If I'm Carson Neely right now, I may get on my horse and make Thompson try to catch me. 5 seconds left. Pummeling in. 4, 3. Neely gets 2 at the end for a 3-0 victory. Again, I mean, 189 heavyweight matches were both very good. Port Allegany now goes up 51-15. Unsportsmanlike called against Thompson. Must be he said something at the end of the match. Brockway will send out Gage Parker to receive a forfeit.
That actually might have been against Neely.
But he had the red hand out.
Because he gave Brockway 1 point. If you look at the scoreboard, it's 3-1.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Neither do I. But
maybe he deducted a T point. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there.
All right, but he did go with the red, which would be Brockway. That's why I had assumed that. So at the end of the night, the score, the Port Allegany Gators 51, the Brockway Rovers 18. Again, Marvin, thank you for joining me, and see you down at Districts.
Yep, I'll be there.
And happy birthday to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Congratulations, you being a grandpa again.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So again,
yeah, my fiance has a few of them, and I like to play with them just as they're mine. So.
Oh, that's something special.
They're great kids. So.
Well, again, Marvin, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated you joining me. And from Port Allegany High School, Marvin Morris alongside Sean Lathrop, we are saying good night and thank you.